So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the comprehension conversation for this book. So tell me about what you wanted students to focus on when you brought them back for discussion.
For Carlos, I'm trying to think. For Carlos Goes Camping, I wanted them to make a connection.
So your overall focus for them understanding this text was for them to use connections to understand what about the story?
To help them understand the story better, how the characters were feeling and why they were doing what they were doing.
Okay, so to help them understand character.
Right.
And then you also wanted them to work on the retell. And not just a factual retell, but one that included inferences along the way.
Yes.
And you were going to prompt as needed.
Yes.
Okay. So I have a video of Shadell.
Okay.
And she starts off the comprehension conversation with a retell.
Okay.
So she has a very clear focus, and I want us to note what her focus is and see if we can pull that out from her conversation with the students. But additionally, I want you to notice how she begins that conversation with the group.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, let's come together. Yeah, she's flying away from that cat, but what did she do before she flew away from the cat?
Okay, so we'll stop it right there. Okay. So what did you notice about the way Shadell opened up that comprehension conversation?
She opened it up saying, pretend like I've never read this story. So that I opened it up so that they had to include all the details of the story as if she's never read it.
Right.
And then one scholar started it off with her book closed, saying she described what happened first in the story. She started retelling it, and as she was retelling it, Shadell chimed in with questions as those points were brought up.
Okay. So what do you think her objective was here?
I think her objective was to get how the characters were feeling.
Okay. And so what did the students have to understand in order to understand what the characters were feeling or to draw that inference?
They had to, in order to find out how she felt, they had to make connections to their life, use personal experience to figure out how the bird was feeling.
So now thinking about all the moves that Shadell made there, she said, how do you think she felt? Why do you think that? What in the story makes you think that? So she used a lot of the really generic step prompts.
Exactly.
To get the student to change her thinking from she was surprised to scared, which was the more valid answer.
Right.
But also to make connections to help her better understand the text. So now think about that in comparison to the opening moves for the comprehension discussion that I saw today.
Yes. So in this comprehension discussion, I can start with a retell instead of making them separate. Instead of coming right to the connection, I can start with the retell, and as the retell progresses, I can ask them once it gets to when they are retelling about Carlos is looking for sticks and he can't find any sticks. How do you think Carlos was feeling? I can prompt that during the retell. How do you think Carlos was feeling? Who can make a connection to how Carlos is feeling at this point? And then prompt that. They can say something like, well, I know that I get frustrated when I can't find something. So they might use the word frustrated. And then they'll say, I know that if I lose something or I can't find something or I have a hard time looking for something, I get frustrated. And so they can make that connection to their life.
So let's actually go into your plan and script out how this might look.
Okay.